a lot of stuff to report to you guys with the finishing of week 6 and the final of Steam Siege. RIP Steam Siege, because Nilly ain't gonna miss it in the Havoc Crack Battle League. We in the 4-5 stuck in traffic, but everybody's out their cars watching Havoc. Man, do we got some good games that have happened in these past 2 days. So let me put myself to the side over here and we're gonna go into it. First off, we have Tony KGB and Gotta Pull Them Off. Score 2-2. These two always end up tying for some reason. I don't know why, but they always end up tying. The last one, I think it was week 1 or whatever, it was 3-3 between both of these. But that time, that tie was determined because Tony KGB had an EX. Will had a break card, and we determined that the EX was better than the break. So Tony KGB got the win there. This one's going to be a little bit hard to determine because Tony KGB, he did get his competitive pick in Apom and got a reverse jump fluff. That's Gotta Pull Them Off. Will, he got a Lilio was his competitive pick, and he got a reverse purple fast. I don't know how to determine this one here. If I was Will, if I was Tony, the tie won't hurt him. He can agree with the tie. That'll be fine because Tony will still be atop of that division and actually have a really good chance of winning the division probably with that tie. For Will, I'll be trying to push a win here. I'll try to state his case of getting a win here, because if he gets a win, then it's a 3-way tie for first. And if I was Holo Ponyta, I would also try to agree with Will and pushing his win. Maybe we do a league vote here. I don't know what goes on here, but as of right now, I'm just gonna keep it as both of them are tied until we figure out stuff. And when I do the week 7 analysis video, if we clear that up, I'll let you guys know then. The second one, we have Caster Nerd and Holo Ponyta. Holo Ponyta snuck by with a 3-2 win, and that ends the 4-game losing streak for Holo Ponyta. Puts her back in to the winner's row, and also gives her a playoff fight. Whatever happens to Tony and Will, how they discover that. But if it is that 3-way tie for first that happens in that Cancer division, Holo Ponyta is a game behind everyone else, so she's gonna need help. She's definitely gonna need to win the next 2 games and some help. Tony KGB and Cass are going to be going together next week in week 7, which will definitely be the game of the week. That will be the game to watch next week, and that will be Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So here I'm just talking about if Tony does take that loss, then it's going to be a 3-way tie, which Cass is probably hoping that Gotta Pull Them All wins, so it could just be that 3-way tie. Next here we have Pokehon and Mike's PokeTube. Let me get on Pokehon's side first. First of all, Pokehon, congratulations, man. You just earned a spot into the Elite Four. No questions asked. You can lose these next 2 games. You can give up your next 2 games. I don't think you want to give up the next game. Who are you going against next? I think you're going against PokeX next. No, not PokeX. Don't Fight Ducks. Yeah, you're going against Don't Fight Ducks. I mean, you could surrender that game to Aaron if you want to give him a win, but I know Aaron, he's not going to go out like that. He's going to want to earn that win. He wants to earn that win with respect. So, but you could lose there. That wouldn't matter. The final game is probably going to be against you and PokeX. That's the one I would want to try on. But if you do get the win next week against Don't Fight Ducks, then there's nothing PokeX can do at that point to win it out. So, Mike, I feel sorry for Mike. I do. I know he's my pre-favorite, but I feel sorry for him. Because if Mike was going against anyone else any other week, he'd be winning. I think he would literally be at least 4-2 right now. It's just, especially these games against Pokemon has been close. Like, these two has been like little inner rivals and stuff like that. I know they're best of friends, but been little rivals at the end too. Just be so close, Mike gets the points and bam, and Pokemon squeaks through with that 1 or 2 points extra. Because last time Mike got 6, but Pokemon had 8 week 1, and now Pokemon got 7 to finish off with Mike's Pokemon here. The only problem was that was Fates Collide that week. This was Steam Siege. So for both of these two to be having high points on Steam Siege, that says a lot about how good these 2 teams are. And just Mike always gets the short end of the stick here. But Pokemon has been impressive throughout this playoff matchup. Through this season matchup right here. And my question is, will he's going to go undefeated? Is he going to beat Aaron? Is he probably going to be, I'm assuming week 8 he goes against PokeX to finish out the division. But either way, he's in the Elite Four no matter what happens. Congratulations. As for Mike, thing is, him and Holo Ponyta somehow have a way of getting to the bubble spot. So everything's not over for Mike left yet, but it's going to be a slim chance to get in there. And then last but not least, we got PokeX versus Don't Fight Ducks. Shayla and Cody, I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what goes on in Chicago. I think I need to start buying some packs from Chicago. That's what I need to do. I need to go to Chicago, go buy some packs. Because, man, they're struck gold. They think the gold was over here in San Francisco in 1849. Nah, the gold's in Chicago. That's where you need to go. If you're pulling out 7 points like this, if they're pull up constant points like this, Steam Siege. So 7-inch, 7, that's probably a low number for them for Steam Siege. But another full art Professor Sycamore to add to their collection. So congratulations on that. And I almost, even though statistically they're not a lock into the Elite Four, but I think I could pretty much, number wise they're not a lock, but my feeling is they're a lock for the Elite Four. So I'm just gonna give you the early congratulations there. As for Aaron, he's gonna get a win these next 2 weeks. I think with his schedule left, he goes against Pokehon next week and Mike PokeTube these last 2 matches, and we'll see if he can pull a win here. But one thing I know, that duck pond don't shut up. That duck pond's still cracking. It's still cracking. It's cracking hard. But here we're gonna go right here. We're gonna go into the standings for we get this off here, because this is very interesting right here. Pokehon's in. PokeX more than likely is in. Even though the numbers don't prove he's a lock, but he's pretty much in. Mike PokeTube still has a shot depending on what happens on this side, because Tony and Cass got to go against each other this week. If this tie does not get settled out, then most likely Mike's PokeTube is going to be hoping for a Tony KGB win so Cass can fall down, and hoping for a Holo Ponyta win so Gotta Pull Them All can fall down, and then that will give Mike and Holo Ponyta an amazing shot with 1 game left for both of them to probably be fighting for that bubble spot right there. But if this 3-way tie does, that's if this 3-way tie happens. If the 3-way tie don't happen and Tony KGB does end up with 4-2 and Gotta Pull Them All ends with 2-4, that's going to be these 3 pretty much going to be on Cass's tail right here. So these, if that does happen, these 3 are going to be hoping for a Tony KGB win next week, and that's going to bump Cass down to 3 and 4. If these 2 will have to go against each other, Gotta Pull Them All and Holo Ponyta. So whoever gets the win here, whoever loses between these 2, their chances are gone. If that scenario happens, and Mike would have to win against, who's he going against? PokeX? That's going to be ugly. But if he wins against PokeX, he has a shot too, because then one of these 2 going to be at 3 and 4. If Tony KGB wins over Cass, Cass will be at 3 and 4. Mike's PokeTube will be at 3 and 4. Then that will give Tony KGB the division at that point. So week 7, Tony KGB, I think, would have win. If this tiebreaker says about that he wins, if he goes 4-2 here, a win next week will put Tony KGB, he'll lock the division. Then it would just be that 4th spot. Cass will drop down, and then if that scenario does happen, week 8, you could be looking at a Cass the Nerd, Mike's PokeTube, but Gotta Pull Them All, Holo Ponyta chance of getting into that 4th spot. So for everyone who is cheering for Gotta Pull Them All, Holo Ponyta, Mike's PokeTube, there still is a chance. There's still a chance. Because Tony KGB and, well, if Tony KGB loses and it's that 3-way tie, then technically that adds all 5 of these into the mix. With 2 of them, one of them will have to go from here, but the other one is gonna be crazy. But Tony KGB versus Cass the Nerd, be tuned in for that week at Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern time, because that's going to be the game of the week, and that's most likely going to determine who's going to win the division and who is going to be on that bubble spot, and who's going to have to fight and claw their way through, because Mike, Holo, and Gotta Pull Them all want that final spot. But I'm Neely from the Cool Poke Players. You guys all have a great day, and thank you for watching.